I remember I was beating my meat to this video game, and then out of nowhere, my grandma walks in saying, "Bubba, what did I just buy you?" And I knew it was the biggest mistake ever. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So this story all takes place back in my grade 9 year. Now, in grade 9, I was only 14 years old, and being a 14-year-old isn't easy. I will say this much: in grade 9, I was hitting puberty, and I was getting a lot of different hormones to the point where, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was like I had my own hormone monster that made me keep falling for the temptations of life. You guys may know this because it's very common throughout, growing up and hitting puberty, especially throughout middle school. But for me, it all happened in grade 9. I remember though, back when I was in grade 9, there was a game that was very commonly played and everyone played it. You guys probably know the game. It's called Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, me, back when I was in grade 9, I wasn't allowed to get Grand Theft Auto 5 because my parents knew that it was not a game for, well, good kids to play. In a way, I guess you guys could say I had strict parents that did not want me playing games that was really not appropriate. Like, even for my parents to just buy me Call of Duty, it took so much convincing to make them understand that I wasn't gonna go out and start actually killing people IRL. Like, it was a lot of convincing I had to do just to get a basic video game that was rated M. But I remember one time I was in school hanging out with all my friends, and I remember one of my friends kept bringing up how Grand Theft Auto has these cool bank heists where you could literally go and rob banks. Now, I found this super cool, but obviously, like, I wasn't able to play because I didn't have the game. So obviously it sucked, and I remember every day they would keep talking about this game. Now, me, I only got to know stuff about Grand Theft Auto through YouTube videos that I would secretly have to watch by myself. So I would join into the conversation, but I would only be able to talk about what I knew from watching other players play it, like Vanoss and all of them. Obviously, it was really upsetting, but I remember one time specifically, I was walking home from school with my buddy of mine, and he told me, "Yo, Bubba, I don't understand, bro. Like, why don't you just, like, tell your parents it's not a bad game?" Dude, there's literally girls on the cover of the game. They're obviously not gonna believe me. Okay, well, then just get someone else to buy it for you. That's what I did, and my parents never found out. Now, this moment, when I heard about his idea, it was actually not a bad one. Like, why didn't I just get someone else to buy me the game? So I remember the next day, during the school day, I remember I walked up to one of my homies and said, "Yo, bro, you know what? I'm gonna buy the game today. I actually have a great idea." "Wait, what do you mean? Did your parents finally let you get it?" "No, obviously not, but my plan is that I'm gonna go to GameStop and just hand someone my money to buy me the game." I remember he looks at me and shrugs, and he's like, "Okay, if you say so, man. If it works, tell me." And he ended up leaving. Now, obviously, that whole day, I was excited just to go to the mall and just pick up this game. To be honest, it was like, exciting for me knowing that I could actually have a copy of this game. But once I got to the mall and I actually, waited by GameStop, I remember I saw this old guy. He had like a white beard and everything, so obviously he was old enough to buy me the game. So I walked up to him in the food court and said, "Hey, yo, bro, I was wondering, could you buy me this game? For some reason, I'm not old enough to get it, but it's a good game. My parents are just not here to pick it up for me. Is it cool if you just say you're my parent and get me the game?" I remember he looks at me and he just like, ends up saying, "Sure, why not?" And he ends up standing up and going towards GameStop with the money I handed him, and he went to go pick up the game. But for some reason, GameStop has this rule where you have to be like 17 plus to buy 17 plus mature games. So I remember right as he picks up the game, he ends up looking at the physical copy of it and like the cover and everything, and he looks at me, and then afterwards he walks towards the counter. And right when he walks towards the counter, like, this guy just kept staring at me, and then that's when the cashier noticed that this person was buying the game for me, and the cashier ended up telling the old man that was supposed to buy me the game, "Sir, you do realize this game has a lot of, violence and a lot of graphic content. You do realize this game's not for kids, right?" And at that moment, when he heard this cashier say that, instantly at that moment, he starts worrying and starts like basically like confessing his sins, saying like, "Oh, like, I was gonna buy the game for this kid. I didn't know it was a bad game. I hope I don't get in trouble." And well, one thing led to another. Mall security came and I got in trouble. I got in serious trouble, to the point where they actually ended up calling my parents that I was trying to buy a game that was not for my age. Yeah, my parents found out about it and I got in serious trouble. I remember for that weekend, I wasn't allowed my Xbox nor to play my Xbox whatsoever. But then something insane happened, where I remember the next day when I went to school, I ended up telling my friends like what happened and stuff. And obviously they all ended up laughing at me because, well, they all had the game that I couldn't have. And it got super annoying. But then out of nowhere throughout the school day, I ended up getting a text message from my mom. My mom ended up texting me, "Oh, Bubba, your grandma's gonna be coming to visit from the States. So she's gonna be staying with you guys for a bit while I go visit your auntie." And at that moment, I got really, really excited, because if there's one person in this world that would buy me anything without questioning it, it was my grandmother. Why? Well, for one of two reasons. One, she did not speak English properly, so if the cashier did tell her, this had graphic content stuff, she would just think graphic means really cute photos. And on top of that, if she saw I wanted it bad enough, she would buy it even herself. Obviously, this is not a smart thing to do, and for anyone watching this video, even if my grandma's watching, no one should be taking advantage of other people, especially if they don't know English. Please, just be be smart with your decisions. Don't do what I do. But going on with the story, I remember when I got home that day, I was super excited and I ran up to my grandmother and I told her everything about this game, Grand Theft Auto. I ended up telling her how it was a racing game and how it was like, you know, basically a game where you're supposed to make money and buy nice cars. Obviously, I didn't tell her the rest of it about how, you know, you end up killing people in the game, and on top of that, you basically see women partially wearing nothing, but she didn't need to know that. So I remember that day when I told my grandma about it, she instantly just looked at me and said, okay, I'll buy you the game. And at that moment, I got super excited. I remember me and my grandma, we ended up getting into her car and we drove down to the mall. And when we got to the mall, I remember we went to the GameStop that had the game, and instantly I picked it up, I gave it to her, and me and her, we went to the front counter. Now the cashier did recognize me from before, but I did tell him that this was my grandmother and that, you know, my grandma's totally cool with me getting the game. So instantly at that moment, the cashier ends up saying the same thing that he told the old man from the other day. And well, my grandmother didn't understand a word he said, so she ends up looking at me saying, Bubba, what is he saying? Oh, grandma, he's just saying how, you know, the game's a good game for kids and how, you know, it'll teach me a lot about driving. Obviously, when me and my grandma communicated, by the way, it was only in Persian, so this cashier had no idea what I was saying. But my grandma just ended up nodding her head and smiling every time the cashier said something bad about this game. And well, one thing led to another, I ended up getting a copy of Grand Theft Auto. Now, obviously, I got super happy about this and I was super excited, but this is where the story gets really intense. Because I remember that same day, I ended up going home and I ended up downloading the game, and right away at that moment, I ended up turning it on. And when I actually went into the game, one thing I started to realize was the loading screen had like this like girl on it, and then well, one thing led to another. There was also a lot more other types of content in that game, which I'm gonna say was definitely not for 14-year-old eyes. And well, of course, me being a 14-year-old that was hitting puberty, out of nowhere, one thing led to another. I got bricked. I got bricked to the point where I actually ended up going into the unicorn place. If you guys don't know what that is in GTA, then you should not be watching this video. But basically, it was a place in Grand Theft Auto where you could see inappropriate stuff. And I went in there and I ended up getting even more bricked to the point where I actually ended up taking off my pants and I started, I started beating my meat. It sounds really cringe, but honestly, it was just hormones. It's just all a part of growing up, I guess. But I remember as I was beating my meat, out of nowhere, my grandmother ends up coming downstairs to check on me. And she sees me without my pants on, bricked to a video game, and she looks at me and says, Bubba, is this the game I bought you? At that moment, I freaked out and put on my pants as fast as I could, and I ended up telling my grandma, no, it's not. It was just a website. I'm sorry. I just have a lot going on. I was super nervous and did not know what to say, but luckily my grandma didn't know the difference between a computer and an Xbox, to the point where she kind of just ended up letting it go. But she did have a conversation with my parents later about how, you know, I'm growing up in a way. I don't know. It was the most awkward conversation in dinner ever. And to be honest, I lost my appetite that dinner time. But one thing was for sure, I was definitely super embarrassed about how my grandma caught me beating it to Grand Theft Auto. Like, who gets bricked over a video game? That is so weird. But at the same time, I can't be the only one, right? Okay, we all have done this, okay? I don't care how many of you guys say you haven't. We all have done this, okay? And this is not cap. This is hard facts, and we all know this. And if you're embarrassed about it, don't be, because I'm about to tell you guys my experience of it, okay? And, you know, like, it is what it is. You know, it happens, okay? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy video. So obviously, this video takes back all the way back when GTA 5 came out. So this was like a long time ago, because if you guys don't know, Grand Theft Auto is like one of the oldest games that I grew up with personally. And honestly, like, I love the game to bits. You know, I can't wait till they actually make a GTA 6, which we all know will probably never happen since they keep remastering old crap and none of us even want it, and it just sucks. It just sucks, okay? But anyways, like I was saying, so this story takes place back when GTA 5 came out. And when GTA 5 came out, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was awesome. Me and my friends wanted to get the game so bad, and we were all excited for it. I remember one of my friends pre-ordered it online so that his mom wouldn't have to give consent. And if you guys don't know what I mean by that, you see, down here in Canada, we have a thing called EB Games, or I guess for Americans, it's GameStop, or in other countries, it's just a game store. And they kind of do this thing where if it's like an M-rated game or 17 plus you have to be, you are not able to get the game without parents' consent. And obviously, you know, when you go and buy the game, they make sure all these rules, like, you do realize like this game has like violence, death, attack helicopters, Biden, Donald Trump, and like the whole country going kaboom, right? And like, bruh, are you joking? Like, dude, I just want to play a game, bro, and they put limitations like that in a game store. I'm just joking. I actually kind of get it, but in a sense, it sucked. gift. So in a way, I really had no way to actually get this game for when it was released, because think about it like this. I was like 15 or 14 actually at the time, and getting GTA wasn't an option because my parents were pretty strict at the time. And let's just say, you know, if I had an EB Games, you know, salesperson or retail, whatever the person does, going up to my mom and saying, yeah, sure, this game has violence, a lot of Devil's Tango, and a bunch of explosives. Are you sure you want your son to have this? I already know for a fact she's gonna say no, and we're gonna get out of that store, and I'm gonna cry to bits not having the game. So I developed a plan, a very secret, ultra mega super awesome cool plan. Yes, I made this up myself. So obviously, you see, in school you meet a lot of people, and in middle school you usually meet that one person whose parents don't care about their kid. As sad as it is, yes, this is a hard fact. There's usually always that parent that doesn't care about their kid. So I remember I've had one of those friends before, and honestly, he was a benefit to me at this day, because I remember I walked up to him and told him, yo, bro, like, I need this game, bro. Like, please, bro, like, can you ask your dad to go pick it up? I'll give you the money for it. And he told me straight up, oh yeah, like, no problem, bro. Just give me like double for it. Bro, what? This guy was expecting me to give him like $140. But then I remember he liked the chick in school, and she was kind of my friend at the time. So I told him, bro, if you do this for me, I'll literally hook you up with the hottest chick in school, your crush. And at that moment, he instantly said yes. He took my money and he told me, give me 1 day. So when he said that, I instantly went home and was excited. I was prepping my console. I remember even cleaning my console, preparing for this game to come inside the disk drive, go into my console and just, sorry, that was inappropriate. My bad. Sorry. I got excited because this was a big thrill. I think all of you guys know the big feeling of when you get like a new game and stuff. Like, it feels good. Okay. It feels awesome. So anyways, at that moment, I remember the next day came by and I went up to my buddy. He gave me the game and I instantly put that thing in my backpack and was excited to go home. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I skipped class just to go home and play this game. So I remember when I got home, I sneaked up to my room. I literally opened my disc tray for my console. I played on the Xbox 360 at the time. I put the game in and I closed it. And instantly right on my screen appeared Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh my goodness, dude. I was hyped, dude. I was ready to press it. I was getting my snacks ready because you already know this game is literally a movie. And when I opened it, instantly the loading screen came on and my mom walked into the house from work. Now this is where I was panicking. Okay. I was freaking out inside because if my mom came into my room, saw that loading screen and saw a chick in a bikini, she knew something was up. So I remember every time like I would somewhat hear her come into my room, I would turn off my like monitor or my TV at the time, I should say. And you know, she would like check and be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, nothing, reading, doing, jerking off, anything else? Yeah, no, literally that's literally what I would do. But then I remember when I started playing the game and, you know, all my friends got on and stuff. And for some reason, you know, I recently found out that there was a GTA 5 strip club in the game. And that was really, really cool. I remember I told my friends like, oh, like I'm going to go to the strip club in GTA. I'll be back in 20 minutes. So I muted my mic. I went inside that strip club. And what did I end up doing? Well, I ended up wanking off to digital chicks. Yeah, this is actually really sad, but in a way, it's kind of the same as the Devil's Hub. So don't make fun of me. So I ended up, you know, doing that. And obviously, as I was doing that, I kind of like had like a towel and everything set up and stuff. And as I was like going at it, my mom walked in when I had my headset on and I didn't hear her coming. And let's just say she saw it happen. She looked at my TV. She looked at me and she's like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, like it was bad. It was bad, dude. It was just terrible. And yeah, let's just say I got my game taken away from my parents. I didn't get it until 2 weeks later when I found it in the drawer, and I never went into the Grand Theft Auto strip club again. I love technology. No, like no joke. I generally love technology. Ever since this whole VR concept came to light on the gaming industry or gaming in general, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am the happiest kid in the world. It amazes me how I know I could literally put on a VR headset and go into any world. Either that world is space, a race car track, a fancy club of just meeting other people, and even the hub. And that's where today's story goes on. But before I get into that, obviously, I want you guys to make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And when this is getting posted, honestly, I think it's close to my birthday. So make sure you guys leave a happy birthday in the comments below for me. It means a lot if you guys do that. My birthday is May 13th, so I don't know when this is posted, like I said, but whenever it is, hopefully it's before that day. Girl, I'm just gonna sound really dumb. And on top of that, if you guys haven't already, follow me on Instagram. All the coolest updates are on there. And if you guys didn't hear about our last announcement from the last video about the Minecraft server, we are opening a Minecraft server server soon, so make sure you guys click the link down below and click on that, and you can join in the Minecraft server with crazy events and fun stuff to do. Now, anyways, let's get straight into the video. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story, honestly, is pretty straight to the point, and I think it's kind of like funny how it all ended up playing out. But basically, I remember this was the Christmas of 2019. Christmas of 2019, I remember I had a PlayStation 4, and honestly, I knew about the whole PlayStation 5 coming out, but honestly, I got a PlayStation 4 for Christmas. I still want a PlayStation 5, but I have no idea where to get one. So Sony, sponsor me and please give me one. I'm not joking. I will literally pee on a kiss a PS5 if you want me to. I would not pee on it. Okay, maybe I would. But going on, I remember one time I ended up getting a PlayStation 4 for Christmas, and I remember PlayStation released this like cool VR concept into the mix of like their cool like gaming thing, because that's when VR started really like getting the hype, I think. Or was it like 2018? To be honest, I'm not sure. But I remember this whole VR concept that PlayStation released was really cool, and I ended up having to get one. Well, actually, my grandma bought me it, but going on. I remember when I first got one, I was playing all the cool, like, you know, crazy VR games that was coming out and stuff. But honestly, I remember one time I went to school and I ended up talking to my friend. And I told him how he should come over and try out this VR with me and, like, you know, play with me for a bit. And honestly, he said, oh, like, I'm so down, bro. Like, I gotta check this out. Because, like I said, the VR concept wasn't a big thing back then. And then I remember he ended up coming over and he ended up saying to me, and reminder, this is after like 4 hours of gameplay. He told me, bro, like, why don't you like watch like movies in this? And ding! That's when the great idea came. That's when the idea of me literally enjoying the VR and watching movies. It was a brain amazing, sensational idea. Like, I had so much dopamine going into my brain after that because it felt like it was such a good idea to watch movies on this. Like, who wouldn't watch movies on it? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. When did I get the idea to go on the Devil's Hub and basically start, you know, squirting out the Devil's Cream? I haven't said that in forever, by the way, but damn. Okay, it feels good to come back. Well, you see, I remember one time I was watching a movie, and as I was watching a movie, I think it was like some action movie that came out, and I remember I had my headphones on, I was just laying back in my gaming chair, and I was just kind of watching it. And then I remember as I was watching it, I ended up seeing some, like, you know, Devil's Tango scene in the movie. And as I was watching it, I remember I had levitating pants. Yeah, I had literally levitating pants as that Devil's Tango scene ended up happening in my VR headset, and as I was watching the movie. And as I was happening, I remember that's when the great idea came in of when I should, you know, try it out. So I remember late at night, I think this was like at like 3 or 2 in the morning, where I literally remember I went out of my bed, I went down to my basement where my VR headset was placed, I picked it up, I put a mattress on the ground, and I literally like turned on my PlayStation. And you guys know when PlayStation 4s turn on, they're literally like airports. Like, they're just so loud. It literally made so much noise. It was like an airplane lifting off. And I remember I like put on the headset, I, you know, basically like went on the internet with the damn thing, and you guys know what I did. At that point, I'm not gonna lie, I went on the Devil's Hub and I started really going ham on myself. And I'm not gonna lie, it was awesome. I would highly advise, if you're of age, to do it and try it out. It's actually really cool. That's not a good thing to say. No, you shouldn't go on those sites. Those are very bad. Watch my YouTube videos instead. Going on, I remember, you know, it was a pretty cool feeling to go off and stuff like that. But the thing that's really bad about it is that when you're in that VR world, I would say you have no sense of direction or any sense of time or sound or sense of anything. You are literally lost in space. And in my space, I was literally in Devil's Hub land, and it was not a good idea. Because, you know, as I'm, you know, going ham on myself, I remember somehow out of literally the blue, I hear someone tapping on my shoulder. Now, at first, I thought it was no one. I was like, oh, like, you know, no one's there. You know, I just keep going ham on myself, you know, not tomorrow, you know, enjoying this Mia Khalifa. And then that's when I realized another shoulder tap happened again and again and again. And that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, someone's down here, and I'm literally like not wearing any pants, and this is not good. Oh my goodness, I'm literally freaking out. Like, I started panicking like crazy. I took off the headset. I see my mom looking at me, and she starts screaming in anger, saying, put on your pants. What are you doing, Baba? What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is very bad for the game. What kind of game you playing? What is this? Yeah, my mom didn't know you could go on the hub while you're on, like, you know, the PlayStation. Yeah, let's just say I got my console taken away after this one. But going on, I remember in that scene, she's literally like freaking out, yelling at me, and I'm just like there, like, with both hands, you know, covering my enormous eggplant that was there. And honestly, like, yeah, it was just not it. It was super embarrassing. embarrassing. And I remember she looks at me saying, is this what you got the PlayStation for? Is this what you're using it for? This is a very bad thing. And yeah, you know, like, yeah, it was not a good day for me. I'll tell you that much. It was just not a good day for me. And I remember as my mom was yelling at me at like 3 in the morning about this, I remember my dad came down as well to the basement and he saw what was going on and he started yelling at me as well, to the point where he actually literally picked up my PlayStation and put it in his room. And the VR headset would not work without the PlayStation. So yeah, the VR headset and the controllers and everything was just left there. It blows my mind how my parents decided to literally take the whole console this time instead of taking the controller like usual, because I would always have an extra controller hidden so I can, like, you know, keep playing with it. And I know many of you guys have done that in the comments below too. But yeah, no, they took the whole console. I didn't see it for like a week. And I remember the next day at school, my friends came up to me saying, yo, like, bro, like, we're hopping on tonight. Like, do you want to play with us at all? Like, with your new PlayStation? And yeah, as I was making PlayStation friends, because I usually had Xbox friends, if you guys didn't know, I couldn't play with them either, because, well, I didn't get my PlayStation back until like the next year when I forgot about my PlayStation and went back to playing Xbox. Yeah, I don't know. It was absolutely just a waste of money, or at least my grandma bought it for me, so a waste of her money. But I'll always remember that amazing, sensational, like, experience I had. And honestly, now that I'm 20 and turning 21 soon, I might do that again. Honestly, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. It sounds pretty awesome. Anyways, guys, I'm just gonna leave the episode off here. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. Follow my Instagram for more crazy stories, or follow basically any platform for more crazy stories. I'll always update you on anywhere, really. But join the Discord server. Honestly, we're opening up a Minecraft server soon. It would be awesome if you guys do join in. It's a story-driven server where basically we tell our own story and basically go crazy. And by go crazy, I mean it's gonna be pretty awesome. And there's many events that we're gonna be doing live on Twitch. So if you guys do have a Twitch channel and you guys want to hop on and, you know, stream with me or play video games with me and go on the server and stuff, you guys can. Anyways, guys, without further ado, I know this is a shorter video, but leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. All right, peace out, guys.